art of engineering, where we love ham radio. Moscow will never die.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Art of Engineering. Now last weekend, lots of rain and I had quite substantial damage done to both the roof and my antenna system. So I needed to get up on the roof and effect some repairs. I had squid poles that were broken due to birds and weather, leaks in roofs. It was an absolute disaster. So got all that done and got some footage done as well. And then of course this long weekend, bit of a break from it all, headed off to the Snowy Mountains. I think it should be called inverted commas, the Snowy Mountains. I think Austria has really ruined snow for me here in Australia. But I did see a lot of people trying to have fun on the little puddles of man-made snow that are presently on the ski fields, but I'm sure it is going to get better. I'm hoping it is for their sake. I will show you the antennas that I have on the lot very, very quickly. And then I'll give you a little review of how I made those repairs and maybe a cheap way that you can use to save some squid poles that might not be good for portable operation, but can still be used at your home base to keep an antenna in the air. Let's go. I nearly forgot to tell you, in the description below this video, I'm going to have lots and lots of antenna videos from my ham radio channel. I'll put them in the order of most popular to least popular. Take a look at those links. You might find some of the projects are useful for you in your ham adventure. Let's go, this time for real. Okay, so this is the QTH. Shack is in a shed at the back, and this is the house, and this is the kitchen on the back. And originally, I didn't have this little pole that's here, and my very first antenna was an end-fed half-wave that just went to the ridge line of the roof, and it had a little trap in it to get it up onto 40 meters. And it wasn't a very good antenna, but it got me on the air and it got the neighbors used to the idea of having antennas in the backyard. Once I sort of felt them out for how accepting they were of this whole situation, things got a lot easier. So what we did was we got rid of this end-fed half-wave for 40 meters. It was actually, sorry, it was trapped for 80 meters. So it would get me up onto 80 meters, but as you can see here, a lot of loading, and it wasn't a very efficient antenna for 80 meters. I really did want to work on 80 meters initially. So what we did was we went for the end-fed half wave for 80 meters without loading. And we initially went up to a squid pole strapped to the chimney at about probably 13 meters above ground level. I think it was a 9 or 10 meter squid pole strapped to the chimney. And then we came down to the front of the house. And that was working really, really well. We had at this end, a 49 to 1 unun. And we were working and getting out quite well on that antenna. And then I thought to myself, we need some VHF, UHF. At some point in time, I think it was before we did the full size end-fed half wave, I made my prepper antenna, which was 2 meters and 70 centimeters. And like I said, I'm going to put videos of all these below in the links below. And then I thought, well, I've got a squid pole for portable operation for a portable antenna that I actually put together. So what I ended up doing was I then strapped a squid pole to this support that we have over here. And I thought, let's get it away from this metal roof that's on top of the shack. So what we ended up doing was we put a squid pole and we made it an inverted L. So we ended up going up that squid pole, across to the top of this squid pole, almost the same height, and then a little bit down at the front. So we've squeezed in an end-fed halfway for 80 meters. Operates really well on 40 meters as well on the CW section. And then what I ended up doing was I wanted to get on top band. So I've put a little relay box on our post here, and I've run 12 volts up to it so I can switch it in and out using the magic switch. And I ran lots and lots and lots of ground radials on top of this big metal roof. You'll see all this in the aerial shot you'll see later. So that's how we get onto 160 meters. And finally, up on top of this roof here, what I ended up doing was I took a vertical antenna that works on 20 and on 40 meters with a trap. And he built that antenna with just a normal radial system. What I ended up doing was I took his idea of making an L antenna, but instead of just making it for 20 meters like he did, I made both arms of it. And you can see it as like being a bent dipole or an L antenna, and this is a counterpoise. All I know is it does get out and it does work really nicely. I need to think about where I'm going to face that counterpoise, or the bottom section of the L, because at the moment that's the direction that the antenna has a little bit of gain, about 2.5 dB of gain in that direction, and I haven't really thought about that. I've just put it randomly somewhere, so I can probably squeeze a lot more performance out of this antenna too. I'm going to get up there and get a compass out and have a look at that later. So that is the L antenna. You'll see a video for that below too. So they are all the antennas that I'm presently running at my QTH, and hopefully there'll be many more to come. So this is the section of pipe that I didn't use that I'm going to use later. I'm probably going to need it. Now, as we all know, a cylinder is a really nicely rigid shape, and this will bear a lot of wind loading, and it's just a really strong way of repairing, at least in my thinking, an antenna system. Obviously, you're not going to put a huge amount of weight on this, but to support a squid pole, it's more than strong enough to do that. And what I did was I took the section of squid pole that was still okay, say about 3 or 4 meters of it, and about 1.5 meters I've put inside the pole. You'd want to put at least 1 meter in there to give it a little bit of stiffness. And I put a hose clamp on the end of the actual section of squid pole that's still okay, so that it wouldn't slide too far inside. You can come up with your own arrangement to get that done. You can probably do a better job of it than I did. And then just lots and lots of electrical tape. It's going to sit in there anyway. And the repair certainly looks fine, and it does the job. And the section of squid pole that I did keep, rather than having the bit that bends over, I kept a section that was a little bit stiffer than that. Because anytime the squid pole gets any horizontal aspect to it, birds see it as a likely place to perch, and that's when they really go to town on it. Of course, cockatoos, they'll go to town on anything, just because it takes their fancy and looks like something that'll be fun to chew on. And I've been out in the backyard on many occasions throwing beer cans at those damn birds, and they think it's very, very amusing. And I must admit, I kind of find it quite amusing too. So we need to go up on the roof, because this polycarbonate sheet we put in upside down. We took the sticker off it, and then we couldn't remember which side it was UV out. And it was getting towards the end of the day, so we just went, flipped a coin, and we lost. Welcome to Antenna Land. So it has been a very long but rather fruitful day, and I'm just up here now tying up some loose ends, getting some tape, amalgamated tape on bits that need to be done. Connectors I'm using, low quality. I need to invest in some stainless steel and maybe do things much more weather tight than I have been, but I'm just going to show you. Over here is my smallish tower that now has this pole on it that was a squid pole, and I'm going to show you the rough and ready repairs that I do to keep the squid pole alive and save myself, you know, $90 to $100. So, previous video, this is the relay that switches out my 49 to 1 unknown. Now the other night, SWR went to 1 million plus, and I knew there was something wrong somewhere in the system, and of course, opened up the unknown, it was full of water. I'm using these really crappy plastic posts. I need to use better quality, you know, screw down posts that are more watertight and less likely to corrode and all that good stuff. But for the meantime, I'm just going to amalgamate a tape as much of this as I can. Could also throw some silicone and stuff over them as well. The last unknown that was up here lasted about 1.5 or 2 years, so sorry, about 18 months. So you know, I'm up here playing more often than that anyway, so it gives me something to do. What I've done is I've gone to Bunnings because I had these repairs to do on the roof, and I bought myself a length of PVC pipe to effect a repair using what was left of the squid pole. And now what I've done is we've got the antenna at the same height as it was before, and I've taken the old squid pole and I've put it into the top of the PVC pipe, and that has affected the repair we need. And I've used an old hose clamp and some tape, and I've used the hose clamp to stop the squid pole from sliding too far inside the PVC pipe, and the actual tape holds it in position, and Bob is your uncle, the antenna is repaired. 49 to unund, inverted L configuration, and this antenna here was also on a squid pole. Birds got to that one too. Birds seem to like to attack everything that I build, so this squid pole I've just repaired was a cockatoo attack, and this was a cockatoo attack as well, and this one was repaired with a very cheap piece of pipe as well. Now obviously if I was taking them in the field, I'd have to go and buy a new one. For home use, I know people are going to say, oh, PVC is going to die in the UV and all that good stuff. That prepper antenna's been up nearly 2 years and it's not brittle yet. If it lasts a couple of years, that's long enough for me, because I'm changing antennas every year anyway, playing antennas. I mean, that's why I do this hobby, because I like to play, so it doesn't need to last. And on the roof here, if you're wondering what that is, like I said, the little box is switching out the 49 to 1 unknown with a relay that's in the shack. Magic switch video. Look in the link below for that video. And this is the ground plane for that antenna, and it resonates on 160 meters. So with a very, very modest urban setting, 430 square meters, I'm able to get myself on top band, and with 5 watts I can hear myself at Tarlee CW, so it's getting out. It's time to get back down the ladder now. I'll just show you what that looks like. People, these roofs that I'm getting on are very, very easy to get on. Getting on roofs, especially at advanced age, at any age, is dangerous. So I'm not advocating that you follow me. Enjoy my adventures, and you can watch me as I fall off the roof. Thank you for sticking around right to the end of the video. Please do check out those links below if you haven't already watched those videos, and maybe think about building an antenna. I've got to say, there's a huge amount of satisfaction in playing with antennas and building an antenna yourself and getting out on it. It also can save you a lot of money, and really this hobby is all about discovery, and it's all about learning new things. And obviously everyone has a different emphasis in what they do. If you just want to get on the air and chase DX and work competitions, this might not be something you want to try, but I would say just give it a crack, because it just might add an extra dimension to the hobby for you and take you in a new direction that's very fulfilling. 73, and I will see you in the next episode of The Art of Engineering.